Mark Hamill reveals the heartbreaking impact his near-fatal accident had on his career. January 11, 1977, the day Mark Hamill's career and life nearly ended. Though he'd bounced back to become one of Hollywood's most iconic actors, the impact of the incident went beyond just physical pain, leaving Mark scarred in more ways than one. But after years of dodging rumors and denying the truth, the Star Wars star has finally come clean about what really happened that day and how the course of his career changed forever. "What happened was that I was on the wrong freeway," Mark told Gossip magazine. "I was way out in the sticks somewhere and there were no cars and no traffic, thank God. I was going about 65 to 70 miles per hour. I was speeding, going too fast. It was then that he realized he was just about to miss his exit. But instead of slowing down, Mark swerved his car across 4 lanes and lost control of the vehicle. The car flipped and tumbled, sending the whole thing hurtling off the road where paramedics later pulled the unconscious actor from the crumpled wreck. The consequences were immediate. At the time of his brush with death, the name, Mark Hamill, hardly rang a bell. Star Wars was still in its final leg of filming when George Lucas got the call about the accident, meaning the world had yet to fall in love with the legendary Luke Skywalker, let alone the man behind the lightsaber. The production had problems to sort out. There was no telling what shape Mark would be in once he recovered, leaving Lucas with no choice but to condense his reshoots and finish most of Luke's scenes with a body double. Fortunately, a good portion of these remaining shots were distant pickup that didn't show Luke's face, though the entire production was still anxious when the film's May 25 premiere date finally arrived. Star Wars, of course, proved to be an unexpected smash hit, and the concerns over Mark's accident affecting the film quickly faded away. In fact, even as Mark's fame reached historic highs, no one seemed to even know he'd been in a hospital bed just months earlier, that is, until 1980. The film's highly anticipated sequel The Empire Strikes Back saw millions of Star Wars fans line up for miles to just catch a glimpse of the next chapter of the revolutionary space opera. Naturally, with so many eyes fixed on the screen, someone was bound to notice something. It was a small thing at first, noticed by only a handful of people, but as more and more moviegoers began pointing it out, others saw it too. Luke Skywalker looked different. His face seemed slightly thinner than they remembered, and his small, pointed nose was definitely flatter and wider than it was in the last film. It wasn't long before these queries made their way to Mark, who was reluctant to discuss his appearance and simply waved off the rumors as mere gossip. But Star Wars fans were convinced something had changed, leading them to probe the latest film in the Skywalker saga for clues, and sure enough, they found one. In the opening scene of Empire, Luke is attacked by a snow monster called a Wampa, who leaves a nasty tear on the Jedi's face before dragging him back to his cave. Upon first watch, this seemed like a pretty effective way to kick off an action film with a bang. But following Luke's rescue and return to the Rebel base, he's seen sporting some pretty nasty scars for a chunk of the film's early scenes. Sure, this could have been passed off as just a simple matter of continuity, but to suspicious, eagle-eyed fans, was this the answer to their question hiding in plain sight? As this theory took hold, it wasn't long before news of Mark's accident finally reached the mainstream, leading to rumors of the actor needing plastic surgery and full facial reconstruction raging throughout the Star Wars community. Unable to avoid the topic any longer, Mark decided it was finally time to clear the air. "I just woke up, and I was in the hospital, and I knew that I had hurt myself very, very badly," he recalled, after which he learned that he'd fractured both cheeks and broken his nose in the accident. "And then someone held a mirror up to my face, and I just felt that my career was over." Though doctors were able to reconstruct Mark's nose using cartilage from his ear, the change in his face was noticeable, especially in his next film Corvette Summer, 1978. Looks were everything for young stars in Hollywood. Would he really be able to keep his career going if Star Wars flopped? Fortunately, Mark never had to face that reality, though had George Lucas really written the entire Wampa opening in Empire just to justify Luke's slightly different look? While fans of this theory will certainly tell you so, Lucas himself has an entirely different take on the matter. "My feeling was some time had passed, they've been in the rebellion fighting, that kind of thing, so the change was justifiable," the director shared. There's a scene in the film where Mark gets beat up by the monster, Wampa, which helps even more, but that wasn't really the meaning of why we wrote the monster in the beginning. However, this may have just been Lucas saving face, no pun intended. Mark's co-star Carrie Fisher saw things a bit differently. "It was a really bad accident. Miraculously, his teeth didn't shatter. But his nose did. He had to have some of his ear put into his nose. So they adjusted the film with this snow monster to right away in the movie scratch his face to account for his looks being different. In fact, as revealed in the book The Making of Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, director Irvin Kershner actually shot a scene showing a droid tending to Luke's face wounds after he returns to the Rebel base. Though it wound up getting cut, was this Kershner and Lucas's way of doubling down on Mark's cover-up? There's at least some truth to the film's acknowledgement of Mark's altered appearance, as the production wound up incorporating most of his real-life injuries into Luke's on-screen ones. That's right, when the makeup department created Luke's scars for those early Empire scenes, they actually based them on the ones Mark received in the accident. Though Mark went on to reprise the role of Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi to round out the original trilogy, he began appearing less in high-profile films and more so as a voice actor behind the scenes. Many speculated that this career shift had something to do with the changes to his face. Of course, Mark has since returned to the public eye in a number of Star Wars projects. But if you were to ask the storied actor, or any member of the original cast, for that matter, what their least favorite part of living in a galaxy far, far away was, they'd all give you the same answer.